Hello students. In the last lecture, we have seen that to build any of mechatronic system, we need three components. That is a system to sense something, for collect the data, then that data has to be transformed, that is the measured data has to be converted into some digital form, then that has to be worked out with the help of some microprocessor. So the second element is your microprocessor, and moving forward we need to take some action based upon the data collected, which will be directed by the controller. So finally we can say that the action taking element, that is it may be hydraulic or pneumatic system, forms the third element of mechatronic system. So basically sensors, microprocessor and controlling element, that action taking elements form a whole of mechatronic system. Now let us move forward and continue our discussion with the very first element, that is sensors and transducers. Remember, in any mechatronic system, measurement is an important subsystem of mechatronic system. The main function of a sensor or transducer is to collect the information on system status and to feed it to the microprocessor for controlling the whole system. Now we can say that whenever we need to collect some data, that data has to be measured. Now anything which will be utilized to measure that data, and then the measured data has to be converted into digital form so that the microprocessor can work on it. That element which does this measurement will be termed as sensors. Now we can say that this measurement system, it comprises of sensors, transducers and signal processing devices for controlling the whole system. We are talking about the very first element of our mechatronic system, and that first system where we carry out that measurement which is to be fed to the microprocessor, it consists of three parts. That is, its elements are sensor, transducers and signal processing devices. They control the whole system. Now we can say that the sensors in manufacturing are basically employed when we talk about manufacturing sector. In manufacturing sector, sensors are basically employed to automatically carry out the production operation as well as process monitoring activities. We can say that sensor technology has following important advantages in transforming conventional manufacturing into a modern one. The very first advantage is sensors alarm the system operators about the failure of any subsystem in the manufacturing system. In case any failure occurs, then the operator or whosoever is the in charge will get an information about the failure, and that work is done by the sensor. That sensor helps operator to reduce the downtime of complete manufacturing system by carrying out preventive measures. Further, these sensors reduces requirement of skilled and experienced laborers, since by using sensors we will automate our system. So we can say that sensors reduce requirements of a skilled and experienced labor. Another advantage is ultra precision in product quality can be achieved. Now, let us move forward and discuss what exactly sensors are, how they work, what exactly a transducer is, what is the function of a transducer, and what their technical specifications should be, so that our mechatronic system which we will build using these sensors and transducers will perform its intended duty effectively. Now, talking about sensor, we can say that a sensor is a device which provides a usable output in response to a specified measurand. Now remember, measurand is nothing but a physical quantity which is to be measured, right? And any device which provides a usable output in response to a specified measurand. Suppose for example, I am utilizing a sensor to measure temperature. What this sensor will do? It will measure the temperature, but of course it will provide output in some digital form. So that is nothing but the temperature is our measurand, and that sensor measures that input. So in case of sensors, we can say that the output is usually an electrical quantity and measurand is a physical quantity, property or condition which is to be measured. We said that in case of our example, that is when we are using a thermocouple to measure temperature, then what the sensor does or the thermocouple does, it senses the temperature, but what actually output we get some digits in digital form. So we can say that the output is an electrical quantity. Now, moving forward, let us talk something about a transducer. In our smaller classes, that is when we were in class 11 or 12th, somewhere we have defined transducer as a very basic definition, that a transducer is a device that converts a signal from one form of energy to another form, and any device which converts one form of energy to another form of energy will be termed as transducer, right? We can also define a transducer as an element when subjected to some physical change, experiences a related change, or an element which converts a specified measurand into a usable output by using a transduction principle, right? One form of energy is converted into some another form, and that is nothing but the device which does this activity will be termed as a transducer. Now let us take an example. If a wire of Constantan alloy, now the Constantan alloy is nothing but copper nickel, and their composition is 55% copper and 45% alloy is present, 45% nickel is present. So basically it is an alloy of copper and nickel. Now if the wire of Constantan alloy can be called as sensor because variation in mechanical displacement, that is tension or compression, can be sensed as change in electrical resistance. This wire becomes transducer with appropriate electrodes and input-output mechanism output to attach to it. Thus we can say that sensors are transducers. Remember, if we are talking about a Constantan alloy, then any mechanical variation, that is by tension or compression, can be sensed in the form of electrical resistance. Now if we attach some electrodes and measure its input and output mechanism, then the same sensor can be termed as transducers. Now moving forward, as up till now we know that for collecting data we will require sensors and transducers. Now the main thing is that to build any mechatronics systems, a mechatronics design engineer must know the capabilities and shortcomings of a transducer or measurement system to properly assess its performance. And he must be known that there are number of performance related parameters of every sensors and every type of transducers. So he must be well equipped about their technical specifications. Now let us move forward and see exactly what these technical specifications of a transducer or a sensor is, so that a mechatronics engineer should select a proper type of sensor or a transducer. Now, the very first type of specification of any sensor or transducer is range. Let us see what range means. The range of a sensor indicates the limits between which the input can vary. The end limits of the input of any sensor or transducer is nothing but a range. Let us see an example of this. For example, a thermocouple for measurement of temperature between 25 to 225 degrees Celsius is used, then in that case its range is 25 degree to 225 degree Celsius. Since the thermocouple can be utilized to measure a temperature between 25 degrees Celsius and 225 degrees Celsius, so we can say that this is the range of that particular thermocouple. The thermocouple cannot measure a temperature below 25 degrees Celsius and cannot measure a temperature above 225 degrees Celsius. So that becomes the very first specification. Second specification is your span. A span is difference between maximum and minimum values of the input. Since we said that in our previous example that a thermocouple is having a range of 225 degree to 25 degree to 225 degrees Celsius. So we say that it can measure a minimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius and a maximum temperature of 225 degrees Celsius. So its span becomes maximum minus of minimum input level. So that is 200 degrees Celsius is the span of our previous thermocouple which we used in our example. Now, moving forward, the third specification is error. And we can say that any difference between the result of measurement and true value of the quantity to be measured is nothing but an error. Suppose we desired that a particular dimension to be measured by the sensor should be of 30 mm, and in case if when measured it is 29.8 mm, so we can say कि there is an error of minus of 0.2 mm. Now minus means the measured value is short of 0.2 mm from the desired value. So that difference is termed as error. It is having an error of 0.2 mm. Let us move forward and see another terminology, that is accuracy. Accuracy is nothing but the closeness of the measured value with the desired value. We can say more specific. Let us take an example. Suppose I have to measure something whose dimension to be provided by the designer. That means a designer intends that the dimension of a particular product after manufacturing should be somewhat 30 mm, and after manufacturing that product, when its dimension is measured, that measured dimension, how much close it is to the desired dimension, will be termed as accuracy. So let us move forward and see another terminology, that is sensitivity. Now, sensitivity of a sensor is defined as ratio of change in output value of a sensor to per unit change in input value that causes the output change. More specifically, we can say that a nominal change in the input should give me an output is nothing but sensitivity of any transducer or a sensor. For example, a general purpose thermocouple may have a sensitivity of 41 microvolt per degree Celsius. Right? Any nominal change in the input parameter should give me some output that is termed as sensitivity of a sensor or a transducer. Now we have another term, that is non-linearity. Let us understand this term non-linearity with the help of an example. Suppose, for example, the non-linearity indicates the maximum deviation of the actual measured curve of a sensor from the ideal curve. The maximum deviation of the actual measured curve from the ideal curve is your non-linearity. For example, in figure it shows that we have an ideal curve, this blue curve, and when we measure something with the help of our sensor, this green curve represents the measured curve. Now anywhere between both these curves, whatever will be the maximum deviation, now that maximum deviation will be the maximum error, and the maximum error will be termed as non-linearity. This non-linearity is often specified in terms of percentage of non-linearity, which is defined as non-linearity equals to maximum deviation in input upon maximum full scale input. So that was all about non-linearity. We have another term, that is hysteresis. Again, let us understand this term hysteresis with the help of an example. This hysteresis is an error of a sensor, which is defined as maximum difference in output at any measurement value within the sensor's specified range when approaching the first point, with increasing and then with decreasing the input parameter. In the given figure, the hysteresis error might have occurred during measurement of temperature using thermocouple. Right? So hysteresis is all about output deviations, whereas we saw that non-linearity is all about the measured error, maximum measured deviation. Now we have another term, that is resolution. It is nothing but a smallest detectable incremental change of input parameter that can be detected in output signal. A nominal change in input parameter can be detected, that means its resolution is higher. It can be expressed either as a proportion of full scale reading or in absolute terms. For example, if a LVDT sensor measures a displacement up to 20 mm and it provides an output as a number between 1 to 100, then resolution of the sensor device is 0.2 mm. Now we have another term, that is stability. Stability is the ability of a sensor device to give same output when used to measure a constant input over a period of time. That indicates how stable my instrument is, my sensor is, my transducer is. It is often termed as a drift and is used to indicate the change in output that occurs over a period of time. So we can say that stability is a time phenomena. It is a function of time. It is expressed as a percentage of full range output. We have another terminologies, that is dead band or time. The dead band or dead space of a transducer is the range of input value which there is no output. The dead time of a sensor device is the time duration from the application of an input until the output begins to respond or change. Next, we have a term repeatability, which specified that under actual same working condition measure with same environment and with the same person in the same procedure, with the same procedure, how much the value gets repeated. It specifies the ability of a sensor to give some output for repeated applications of same input value. It is usually expressed as a percentage of the full range output. Repeatability equals to maximum minus minimum value upon full range into 100. So that is all about repeatability. And finally, the last specification, we have a response time. Response time indicates the speed of change in output of a stepwise change of the measurand. It is always specified with an indication of step and the output range for which the response time is defined. So, dear students, this was all about sensors and transducers and their specifications. In the coming lecture, we will study what are the different types of sensors. We will study each one of them and their working principle. So, we will stop here and we'll continue in the coming lecture. Okay, thank you.